Hello, my achievers. Today we continue to expand our vocabulary as we learn words that have particular association or link to a specific theme or topic. Remember, knowing words is one thing, but using them appropriately is another. And so it is important that we spend time to understand words and what they mean so we know how and when to use them. For this session, we are going to be looking at the celebration of Easter and words that are associated with Easter. It's like I said before, we must use the correct words so that we send the correct message or information. So, what do you know about Easter? I'm sure you know that we already celebrated Easter, that's for sure. But do you know things that you did during that time? Now think about the word independence. If we are talking about Easter, would the word independence be relevant or appropriate in our discussion about Easter? I don't think so. Remember, we learned about independence and words that are related directly to that topic. Likewise, we are going to learn about Easter and words that are directly related to Easter. Now, what exactly is Easter all about? Being able to answer this question will help us to find the right words. Easter, as we know it, is a religious celebration that is linked particularly to the Christian religion. It signifies the resurrection of Jesus Christ after his crucifixion. When relating to or speaking about the events that are linked to Easter, the following words would have the most relevance. So here we'll go through a list of words: sacrifice, Easter, Ash Wednesday, miracle, Passover, cross, Easter service, crucifixion, Easter bunny, risen, April, celebration, Jesus, Palm Sunday, holy, crucified, resurrection, Easter basket, God, parade, prayer, Calvary, Good Friday, Lent, tradition, holiday, kite, and Easter eggs. Now, as I said, these are some of the words that we will use the most or that are most appropriate to use when discussing the topic of Easter. Now, as I said, Easter is particularly a Christian religious celebration. But today, all over the world, Easter is being celebrated by persons of all religions, and there are different things that we do in this celebration. While some of the words are religiously connected so as to tell the story of Easter, there are some of them that have a more social connection and less religious connection. Words such as kite, Easter bunny, Easter basket, Easter egg. Those words are not religiously connected to the story or the topic of Easter. Now, let's just look at the meaning of some of the most relevant words we will use when discussing the topic of Easter. We have Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday is a Christian holy day of prayer and fasting. It is preceded by Shove Tuesday and falls on the first day of Lent. Lent is the 6 weeks period of penance before Easter. Now, during that Lent period, people fast. And so all of these events, Ash Wednesday being one of them, leads up to the celebration of Easter. Easter is also called Resurrection Sunday. It's a Christian festival and cultural holiday commemorating the resurrection of Jesus from the dead, described in the New Testament as having occurred on the third day of his burial following his crucifixion by the Romans at Calvary. Sacrifice, an act of slaughtering an animal or person or surrendering a possession as an offering to a deity. Now, sacrifice in the story of Easter, we're talking about the sacrifice that Christ made for us. Crucify. To crucify is to put someone to death by nailing or binding them to a cross, especially as an ancient punishment. Now, other than Jesus, there were two thieves who were crucified with him. So, to be crucified, it just didn't happen to Jesus, but it was a form of punishment which was used eons ago. That doesn't happen anymore, I'm sure of it. Calvary. Calvary was the site immediately outside Jerusalem's wall where Jesus was crucified. So Calvary is the location where the crucifixion took place. And so it is most definitely relevant in any discussion about Easter. And then we have resurrection. Now, resurrection, the rising from the dead of a divine or human being who still retains his own personhood or individuality, though the body may or may not be changed. So, resurrection is speaking directly to that of Jesus. He resurrected from the dead after his crucifixion. Now, let's read this story to see how some, if not all, of these words were used. And remember, this story is the story of Easter. Easter commemorates the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It is the most important Christian festival and the one celebrated with the greatest joy. The date of Easter changes each year, and several other Christian festivals fix their dates by reference to Easter. Churches are filled with flowers, and there are special hymns and songs. But not all Easter customs are Christian. Some of them, such as the Easter bunny and the flying of the kite, are more traditional in origin. The Easter story is at the heart of Christianity. Palm Sunday begins that period that would lead to the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Before Jesus was betrayed, he had a special meal with his disciples called the Passover. It marked the last meal he shared with them as human. It was said that the same night as he was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane, that he was betrayed by one of his very own disciples and arrested by Roman soldiers who treated him very unkindly. On Good Friday, Jesus Christ was executed by crucifixion. His body was then taken down from the cross and buried in a cave. The tomb was guarded, and an enormous stone was put over the entrance so that no one could steal the body. On the following Sunday, some women visited the grave and found that the stone had been moved and that the tomb was empty. That was the day of his resurrection that we now refer to as Easter Sunday. Jesus himself was seen that day and for days afterwards by many people. His followers realized that God had raised Jesus from the dead. Jesus came back to his friends. He told them to teach about God's love. Tell the people, said Jesus, to believe in me, even if they can't see me. And then Jesus ascended to heaven to live with his Father. Now that was a summary of the Easter story. Did you see any of the words we discussed earlier? Yes, we did, because they are associated with the topic Easter. So as I said, these words will be most appropriate and must definitely be used when we are telling the story or when we are talking about Easter. So let's review some of those words. Sacrifice, Easter, Ash Wednesday, Miracle, Passover, Cross, Easter Service, Crucifixion, Easter Bunny, Risen, April, Celebration, Jesus, Palm Sunday, Holy, Crucify, Resurrection, Easter Basket, God, Parade, Prayer, Calvary, Good Friday, Lent, Tradition, Holiday, Kite, and Easter eggs. Now, I'm sure that those less religiously connected words, such as Easter bunny, Easter basket, Easter egg, and kite, are words that you are accustomed to when you are talking or when you have to write about Easter. Because during Easter, I know one of the most fun things we do is to fly our kites. And now we have our Easter bunny parade and we have our Easter egg hunt with our Easter baskets and all of that. So those are words also that are very relevant when we're talking about a more traditional and modern way of celebrating Easter. Now, these words can be used in other stories and sentences, but when talking about Easter, these are the most relevant words to use. That's all for our lesson. Make sure you practice to spell these words and use the dictionary to learn their meanings. As always, I am Miss Shamsuddin, reminding you to study as much as you can and ask for help with things you still don't understand. See you next time.